It's not every day we get a Goo Goo doll. But Korel Tunador is so much more. And before I tell you his credits, we share a very important person. For anyone who's been here before, you know how I talk on and on about Zoe Moon, who is not only my astrologer, but one of my very closest and dearest friends. And I don't do anything without Zoe. I literally, the other day, she said, oh, you know, I was talking to her about the HuffPost piece and went to send it in, and she was like, you must send it in before Monday morning. And I was like, oh. I stayed up till 3 in the morning to finish it because she said it had to be on the person's desk before because of the bad energy. And last time, the last piece, I sent it in. She said, oh no, that was the void of the moon. You weren't supposed to send it. Oh my God, I gave it. And she said, you have to resend it. I said, I can't resend it. She said, you have to resend it. She's not going to see it. She tell her there was a mistake, and it ended up there was a mistake. So I resent it, and this time she said the woman's not going to get back to you for 3 days. And Zoe is always right. So I bet you in 3 days I hear from this woman. And Zoe married Carell and his wife. That's like just crazy. But anyway, Zoe's going to come and read for us in January, so that's going to be really exciting. I just love her to death. And if you don't know Zoe, friend her on Facebook, read her daily posts, because it's not like any astrology you ever know, like you've ever seen before. She has a completely different spiritual take on the whole thing, and it's beautiful. Okay, and it's helpful, and she's always right. And she better be right, because she told me, I want those things to come true. Zoe Moon, Z-O-E Moon.
Is she on one of the friends of Women Who Write group?
I don't know if she's on there, but she's in my friends list. So if you just go to my friends list, she's there. And if you just type in Zoe Moon, she's the. And she has a website, and she has Facebook page and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So where am I? Korel plays everything. And I'm talking instruments now, so don't get any ideas. And he's married, and his wife is a forensic scientist. How interesting. Yeah, real life Dexter CSI. It's very cool, but she's like the real deal, and she went to school for it, not just watch TV. Okay, so he brings flexibility and diversity either with guitar, keyboard, vocals, saxophone, accordion, or the toy piano. I want to hear you play the toy piano. It's in his credits. He went to the Berklee College of Music, where he got a degree in tenor saxophone. Following university, Carell played in some of the greatest and most whacked-out bands that we've never heard of. In 2001, he won an endowment from the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, a Creative Achievement Award grant as an emerging artist. After moving to LA, he played guitar with Jada Pinkett Smith's metal band, Wicked Wisdom. And he went on Ozfest in 2005. I'd like to hear about that. In 2006, he started playing keys, guitar, sax, and singing with the Goo Goo Dolls. He toured internationally with them for 3 years, performing on dozens of television shows. And he's in the live DVD releases from Red Rocks and Capitol Records Studios. In late 2008, he joined up with Katy Perry. Yeah, some fine company you keep. They went around the world several times, played on the 2009 Grammy Awards and many other television shows. A high point of the year was being part of the reinterpreting of Katy's songs for an episode of MTV Unplugged, which also was released as a DVD and CD. Carell co-produced, arranged, and recorded a medley of the Song of the Year nominees in cabaret style that Katy sang when she hosted the EMA Awards in 2009. In September of 2009, Carell returned to the Goo Goo Dolls and joined in with vocal harmonies and keyboards on their new record, Something for the Rest of Us. They are currently on an extensive tour promoting the new record. His new album, No Tomorrows, was recorded in between breaks on tour and is now available for your listening pleasure. And we get to hear Carell play Carell. Ladies, please welcome Korel Tunador. I'm very smooth. Oh, JC, I broke it. Oh, my God. I broke your mic. Oh, wait a minute. Does it go back? Oh, my God. All right. Carell, I have to wire you up. You are? But what do you think? Just for your vocal, though. What do you think, JC? Huh?
Yeah, just turn it off.
Yes or no?
No.
Korel Tunador!
Well, your version of me is much better than my version of me. And as far as Zoe being right. You can tell her later whether she was or not this week. Well, thank you guys. I grew up having to take piano lessons, and every so often they'd make you go and play these little recitals at age 7, and I swore I would never play in front of people again.
How'd that go for you?
It didn't work out, but big crowds are much, much more forgiving than small crowds, so y'all are nice enough that I'll not walk out. Okay, I just play a few songs, and since I knew it was a day for writers, I just thought I'd pick, like a emotion per song, or that sort of thing, maybe a little story. This first song, it's called Child of the Ocean, and it was just trying to do something that was pure. You are the child of the ocean, conceived in the sea, and what a creation you have grown up to be. You've planted a field and flown around the world. You know the order of the presidents and what they did. And when your cookie crumbled, you made it into bread. And when you should have stumbled, you skipped instead. With the patience of the ocean, you do what you say. For a little erosion goes a long way. And like a single wave, you will blow me away. Like a powder cake, ignited by the light of the break of day. A confusing situation can happen in a dream, and somehow you seem to know just what it means. Unlikely situations can take you by surprise, but the past and future seem to swim in your eyes. And anything I mumble, you always understand. Anything I fumble is in your hands. And like a single wave, you will blow me away. Like a powder cake, ignited by the light of the break of day. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. I've never seen the ocean, but was conceived in the sea. I never had the notion that we would meet. I was flying in a field with my ear to the ground, and somehow you approached without a sound. And when I turned around, at first you weren't there. I lifted my head and you were floating in the air. And with a single wave, you were blown away, and you said my name.
Wow. Wow. We're not so tough after all.
What's that?
Wow.
More of you. So that was kind of a song about purity, and this is an out of love song. So it's not a song about negativity, it's more a song of just resignation. Well, I heard what I needed to hear and proceeded to finish my beer. Words have two meanings and politics have leanings, but you're looking for someone to steer. We could have Well, I could stand to hover over you, and you could refrain from hovering over me. I sit and look at you, you sit and look at me. I tend to mirror you, and you tend to mirror me. Intentions are printed like cash, and all things that come shall pass. Where we're laid to rest depends on what we do next. Remember, all things that come shall pass. We could have 20 winks, or we could have 20 sighs. We could have 20 years, or 1 year, 20 times. This one is a little bit different, and I'm not promising I will remember it. I hadn't played it in probably a long, long time, a year at least. You know, I heard you.
When you're young, a year is a long time.
Well, yeah, but you know, I'm not a stage. It has a lot of words. You know, I'm not like a stage actor, so it's not. You know, it's the muscles you exercise or not. But I knew it was about writers today, so I thought I should tell a story. This is basically an Americana sort of a Wild West saga called The Town of Artichoke. And if it has a subtitle, the subtitle would be Romeo and the Grapes of Solitude.
Which city is that?
Sorry?
Which city?
Oh, the Town of Artichoke.
Where is it?
It's nestled there in the valley out west.
You get heckled at women who write. You get heckled. Sorry.
It's basically an old, you know, covered wagon and magic story. Here we go. Deep in the frontier land where people used to lend a hand and weren't afraid to make a stand for the straight and clear, there lay a few old dusty roads of real-life Capulets and Joes. But in the country things don't explode, they boil till they disappear. The town of Artichoke was a hamlet without hope. Its two families had not spoke for 100 years. Rivers Creek ran down to the ragged, jagged hill surrounded. It was 3 days' ride to the world outside. Provincial pride, just let that be. Life ambled right along and dusk bled into dawn, and this tiny town had gone for some time without a spark to light the waiting firefight. And the watchful eyes and family spies all but knew was overdue. Then two sons of a man who quietly held to his clan took it upon themselves to expand the feud. They put a soiled henhouse rag in place of their rival's flag, and the total town hall drag. Those Portland kids were beaten down, and within an hour the whole town was up in arms, and that fragile town flower was closed up tight at the first alarm. A barn went up in smoke and countless windows were broken, and the crash of shattered glass was no surprise. All through the night the men would hunt and fight, and the days were left to get some rest and tend to gashes and black eyes. The doctor and the priest wanted to have a feast. The neutral town crier just cried. Cooler heads convened to analyze this messy scene and mediate before it's too late. Saw that some new kid almost died. Well, for 1 week and a half, not a soul was heard to laugh, except for old man Wilkins in the saloon. I have been waiting on this for years. He cackled to his fears. These kinfolk judge and hold a grudge, but none of them should speak so soon. For what is mine should be ours, as what is yours is good for me. And this is all about power, provincial pride, just let's that be. Back up a century or so, you had two families on the go, tearing it up lickety-split across the plains. Working was their thrill as they headed for the hills, and as the sun would go down, they'd gather around and romanticize their aches and pains. After months of parched travel and sleeping on gravel and burying a few loved ones on the way, the mountains anchor broken, not one person spoke as they looked down at the Green Valley, knew they had arrived home that day. Well, a week-long jamboree combined with digging of latrines. Pretty soon this scene was a veritable town. And as the water gurgled down from the jagged hills around, they set up camp and then street lamps. Man, these cats could lay it down. And within a year, the whole town was arm in arm, with nothing to fear until a daughter came to harm. Well, all the children loved the rocky hills above, and after chores were done, they'd go out and get lost. One standing dare had all the kids scared. It was an icy spit of rapids that no sane man would try to cross. But as nobody can hide from a test of pride, the mayor's boy went out and tried to pull himself across, and it's no surprise he lost. But the cobbler's daughter dove on in and got his head up before she died. And within an hour, the whole town was on alarm, and their love would turn sour as kids spread rumors on the farms. Well, they never got her out, and that creek was the spout that filled every mug in this goddamn town. The accusations flew, and before you knew it, the lines were drawn. These sick-ass folks began to grind each other down. Well, for months and hours and days and weeks, snow came and left surrounding peaks, and people's cheeks were pale and they grew old. The only one who mourned was Mayor Wilkins' boy, but he yapped on until they yawned and went with what they'd first been told. And over the years, a thickness came and the fighting died, and over his beers, Tommy Wilkins moaned and cried. Well, Thomas Wilkins lived to be 103. That's right, he was holy and he drew blood. As the generations passed away, which brings us to the present day. Tom looked around, he laughed, he frowned, he drew a prayer in the mud. Dear Lord, what must I do to come be with you? My time is long and I have nothing left to live. I am always thinking of my long lost love. Well, my proud sin did her and now she's with you and I'm forced to live. And I would have her if you would just take me to. And I couldn't be sadder, I know the only thing to do. Well, Thomas started up the path to this ancient icy bath, and with each step he seemed further away. The steeper the ground, the more time slowed down. What once took 3 hours now took this man almost 2 days. Well, Thomas recognized the spot and immediately dropped. An eerie hush came up from the land, and as the water gurgled past, he said the words at last. He tripped on in, hit his chin, and gave the world a finger of his right hand. And a pain laugh filled the air, and within a moment, it was just like he was never there. Well, in the town of Artichoke, the next sunrise broke, and pried open eyes as if from a dream. All the people milled around the center of town, and without a sound, they all went down and took a drink right from that stream. Well, now the town of Artichoke is just a gritty little joke. It's one shade from fading away. Should you find yourself passing through, don't drink a local brew. Just take a long look up that hill, get in your car and drive away. And within an hour, it'll seem like it was all a dream. And you think about it later, wonder what the hell it means. What was mine should be ours, as what is yours is good for me. And now that fragile
My kids again going, no, don't you? Korel, thank you so much. One more hand. That was amazing. I felt like you were in a stadium. I mean, that's how big it was. That was so big. Wow, that was just thrilling. Thrilling. Okay. I'm glad I don't have to follow that. No.